All right, well, it's time to make your Friday a little sweeter. Please welcome NYC Times best-selling cookbook author Anne Byrn. Thank you so much for being here.
Great to be here.
It smells good already, so I'm excited
Yeah.
about what's going to happen. Congratulations on your new cookbook.
Thank you, Andrew.
How much fun did you have making this book?
I loved it. 3 years of working on the book, Baking in the American South, and it was just, you know, it's a look at the South, 14 states, recipes from the past, present, cookies, pies, cornbread, biscuits, you name it.
Oh my goodness. Thanks for thinking of my my midsection here. I appreciate it.
Always helpful.
My waistline. Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, what are we making today?
We're making an old recipe called Gottlieb's Chocolate Chewies, and this is a Savannah recipe.
Okay.
It's great. So it's kind of like how an old recipe is new again. I mean, Gottlieb's was a bakery, a Jewish bakery in Savannah. 1884 is when it opened.
Okay.
But these were a Passover recipe. They're flourless.
Okay.
So I've got about 3 egg whites that I've beaten.
Okay.
And this is just...
I've never seen beaten egg whites, by the way. That's okay.
Yeah,
That's what they
okay,
look
there
like.
you go. It's like what used to make a meringue. So
Yeah,
I've added some confectioner's sugar, and then some good Dutch cocoa, about a half a cup.
Okay.
And then here's, you know, a tablespoon of cornstarch.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it. Nice and simple.
That's it, you know, and a little bit of vanilla, you know. It's kind of an easy way to upgrade a recipe. You know, you got basic staples in here, but if you use kind of a nice cocoa and a nice little vanilla, and then fresh pecans.
Now I have 2 little ones at home, so I do some baking, but I'm not a professional. I'm always shocked at like how little vanilla you need to impact a recipe.
Right.
That little bit really gives the whole thing some flavor.
It does, and I think too, the better the vanilla you use, the better it's going to taste. And actually too, you could use a little almond extract in here. I mean, I think extracts are a fun way to kind of get a lot of flavor in a dish. And then we're going to add a whole bunch of pecans, chopped pecans, Georgia pecans.
Love pecans.
Of course, yes. And then you just make a batter out of this. It's really super simple. So it's that little bit of cornstarch and the cocoa that kind of acts like a flour, and that's what keeps your cookies together.
Oh, I wish you guys could smell this. It smells so good.
It is. It's all chocolatey.
Yeah.
And you know, because there's no flour in it, that all you taste when you eat one of these cookies is cocoa.
Oh,
and they're
goodness.
great to make ahead, and especially if you've got like a gluten-free family member. I think it's just so interesting how people, and a lot of the old Jewish recipes, so there you go, there's your batter.
That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then we just kind of, you know, if you're gonna, you know, make it at home, then you just sort of spoon it onto the plate in little dollops, or you could use like a little ice cream scoop.
Okay.
Very, very simple, very simple.
Very easy.
Yeah, very simple.
That's great. And then how long do you bake this?
You bake them at 350 for about, you know, depending on the size. I like to make them small, but you can make them big as well. So it depends. But, you know, 8 to 10 minutes for small ones, and then 12 to 15
I love this.
for the bigger ones. Yeah.
For the fall that's coming up, winter season,
yeah.
what's your favorite dessert to make?
Oh, wow. I think any kind of sweet potato cake, maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, sweet potato cake, sliced sweet potato pie. It's an awesome recipe. You know, maybe make some bread. And I've got a great bread chapter in here. And actually, there's an old Atlanta recipe in here. It's Heron's sweet rolls.
Okay. Talk to me a bit more about that, because we were talking before the show about the book.
Yeah.
And some interesting tidbits of how it's not your average cookbook.
It is not. It's 200 recipes, but every recipe has a story. You know, I spent 15 years in Atlanta. I love Atlanta. And I was the food editor for the HAC. And so I was, you know, I know these recipes.
Yeah.
So I've got Heron's sweet rolls recipes. I got the Colonnades corn muffin recipe. I've got Sonia Jones, who owns Sweet Auburn Bread. She's her sweet potato cheesecake recipes in the book.
Oh, wow. Say those words again. Sweet potato
Sweet
cheesecake.
potato cheesecake.
That sounds
Exactly.
amazing. Okay.
But there's a lot of history, and there's a lot of Southern history in here too. I've got Rosa Parks' pancake recipe.
Yeah.
I've got Georgia Gilmore's pound cake.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just, it's a way of looking at the South and the South's history, as complicated as it is.
Yep.
But look at it through food.
Yeah.
And you know, and it's something you can teach your kids, because you can make cookies together, and you can say, this came from a bakery that was like 100 years old.
I say this all the time. I feel like I say it at least once a day on the show that that's a great way to teach kids, with fun, with a little bit of, you know, something that's not sitting down, giving them lessons. You're baking, and you're also teaching at the same time.
Well, you're making memories together too. So you're doing it together.
It's a beautiful thing. I know Kara always asks this question, so I want to ask you, what are 3 things that every baker needs to have in their pantry?
Wow. Nice cocoa.
Okay.
Nice cocoa. Nice vanilla. Yeah. I like the Rodale vanilla. I love it. gosh, I would always say something chocolate.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
I love that.
But I mean, I think too, your favorite flour.
Okay.
You know, your favorite flour. What do you like to cook with? You know, what do you like to bake with?
Yeah.
And
very quickly, just tell people where they can get this book. I want to make sure they can get it.
Yeah, Baking in the American South. You can find it anywhere in all of your favorite bookstores. It's out there. It's at your Indies. It's at, you know, the big A.
Yeah, the big one.
know?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, everywhere.
Well, thank you so much for making the studio smell so good. I'm going to eat a lot of these when we go off the air. Cheers to a delicious dessert on this Friday. Thank you so much for being here. We'll have this recipe on our website, atlantaandcompany.com. Next week on ANC, we're